Good morning, everyone. My name is Anirudh. The topic for the presentation today is a part of my ongoing master thesis at KTH University, and it's in collaboration with Ericsson Research. The title for the topic is a distributed species-based genetic algorithm for RL problems, reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is a promising solution for a control of agents and finding the optimal decisions when you're dealing with an uncertain environment. Existing algorithms like Q-learning, primarily DQN, policy gradients like A3C, they tend to be computationally expensive and require a lot of training, even in days or not in hours, when you're dealing with complex problems that involve large state and action spaces. So recent work in black box optimization strategies that involve evolutionary computing genetic algorithms, primarily by OpenAI called Evolutionary Strategies, and Uber AI's Deep Neuroevolution have shown promising results. Not only are they faster to train because they involve gradient-free learning because there's no backpropagation of gradients, but they are robust to sparse dense rewards because the evolution of neural network happens due to genetic operators. And then, due to the non-iterative nature of these algorithms, you can distribute them and then scale them to large workers, and then you can achieve significant speed up. So our particular contribution or my particular work in this thesis is to work on a distributed genetic algorithm, which has a species-based population initialization. To make this algorithm scalable, we come up with a compact model encoding, which utilizes low memory and bandwidth. And then we also implement mutation as well as crossover in the encoded space, which was not done in the publications that I've cited before. So we'll go through a simple framework of a genetic algorithm and the genetic algorithm implemented in this work. So it's a population-based optimization method. So you evolve a population T of n individuals with S distinct species. For our work, each species is represented by a neural network layer weight initialization strategy. So we call this SPGA in the following slides. We use the cumulative rewards of an iteration or an episode for DQN-A3C as a measure of fitness, the neural network. And then we select a fraction of the population as elites of the current generation, and then you use the genetic operators to generate the next generation of these neural networks. So the framework is shown on the figure on the right. You initialize a population, you evaluate the population, the fitness, you use genetic operators to get the next generation, then you repeat the process until you've reached a stopping criteria. So for this particular algorithm, we benchmarked the results on Atari 2600 benchmarks, and then we evaluated our performance to DQN and A3C. The benchmark hyperparameters for DQN and A3C were available on RLLibs library, which have been mentioned in the technical report. So for a comparative evaluation across these algorithms, we train on 5 million training frames, and each iteration for DQN and A3C is capped at 10 frames per iteration. And for genetic algorithms, since it's generational based, each generation, each individual is maximally trained for 10,000 frames to have a comparative evaluation. We follow the same data pre-processing techniques across algorithms, the same network architecture, and the same 30 random initial no-op operations, which were suggested in the original DQN paper. The training is performed on a Kubernetes cluster. For DQN, we use a single worker. For A3C, 8 workers. And for our algorithm, we use 10 workers, 4 CPU each. So to scale our algorithm, we need a compact model encoding because the algorithm relies on a population of these large neural networks. So if you look at the neural network which was used for this particular experiment, it's the large DQN model from the original DQN paper. So it consists of 3 layers of convolution, and each such network has a size of about 6 megabytes and 1.7 million trainable parameters. So if you think about implementing genetic algorithm to the complete neural network, you'd have to initialize a bunch of these neural networks, and it will scale poorly because you'll have to send these neural networks to workers to compute their fitness. And then we had to come up with an encoding of this model somehow. So the way we used the encoding of the model was as a list of tuples, which is shown on the figure on the right, both the figures. So a neural network can effectively be encoded as a list of tuple, where the first tuple would represent the identifier for the species, which could be the class name. The second element in the tuple would be the initialization seed, which was used for the initialization of the weights of the neural network. And the subsequent tuples would represent the mutation rate or the mutation power, and the seed which was used to apply those mutations. So, for example, Space Invader and Frostbite are two such games from Atari. After 8 generations, an individual uh, from the population has a size of about 152 bytes as compared to the 6 megabytes original. And then for Frostbite, after 34 generations, you'd still have a very compact encoding of 408 bytes as opposed to the original 6 megabytes. So the way we implement mutation is additive white Gaussian noise with zero mean, and the noise is equivalent to the mutation rate, which is present to us in the encoded representation of the neural network. And crossover is something which was not trivially implemented in the algorithms that we've reviewed before. So the chromosomal um, crossover in genes motivated us to apply crossover in the encoded dimensions. So given two encodings, these lists of tuples of parent 1 and parent 2, we sample a crossover point from one parent and then merge these two parents to generate a new list. Effectively, this would allow us to apply crossover within two different network architectures as well. And then the offspring which is produced in such case would be a valid encoding and then could be decoded by any worker. So this is something that we implemented for an efficient, scalable implementation. So these are some of the results. So as I've outlined before, we train on Atari 2600 benchmarks. We chose two separate games, Space Invader and Frostbite, trained on 5 million training frames each, approximately 5 million training frames. The bar chart on the bottom left shows the distribution of species in the initial population. So we can see a healthy mix of all different weight initialization strategies. We train on a population size of 200, and the number of elites is 10% of the fraction. We use the same mutation power throughout, but that is a hyperparameter which could be further tuned. And psi is a parameter that controls the probability of using the genetic operator, be it mutation or crossover. And we have 5 different kind of species in our experiments. So the initial experiments, preliminary results on these experiments show that our algorithm is able to outperform both DQN and A3C on both the games. And the biggest advantage is what we see in figure 4 is the training time. So DQN took about 9 hours to train on each game. A3C, which is a distributed algorithm as well, took about 3 hours and 45 minutes, whereas our algorithm was able to train on 5 million frames within 55 minutes. And this could be further extended by more computational resources. So in our work, we've presented a distributed species-based genetic algorithm as a scalable alternative to these MDP-based approaches. The results in our work are limited to 2 games and training on approximately 5 million frames and require further verification. We also plan to test our algorithm not only on wider set of games from the Atari benchmarks for more frames, but also on other domains like robotics and telecommunications. And then also, we're also looking at an hybrid approach where we could leverage the scalable nature of this algorithm and then somehow combine MDP-based algorithms to see if we can get better results. These are some of the references from our paper. Thank you.